Good morning, YouTube. Today we're removing what GM calls a track lock. Anyone else with a brainstem would call it a limited slip, third member differential, whatever, from this axle housing, and we are going to be installing it in the Yakima Redneck Wrecker. It is not a Detroit locker by no means, but it's going to be a vast improvement over what that truck currently has, which is an open diff. So this should go smoothly and fit for both 14 bolts. They're both about the same vintage as far as the axle itself. That truck's using an axle from a 79 Chevy 3/4. And I believe this being a 74 Chevy 3/4 should be exactly the same axle housing. It's going to be very simple. Don't have to jack it up. Just unbolt the axles, slide them out, pull the cover, pull the cage out, switch the cage, you're done. Give you an update later. Alright, update to the putting in the GovLock, wonderful limited slip. Yeah, that little sucker right there. And usually what goes bad on these is the pin and the weights will shear off, get in there, and then the whole thing explodes. If you ever think it'll happen, these clutches will wear down. There's a little ramp type gear in there on one of the side gears. It'll extend past, lock it solid, and then you're going to break axles. And I have seen these pop right here, all the way across. So yeah, it's not the best, but for what I'm doing, it beats having a one-wheel smoke-'em rear end. Now, this is a ring gear from my truck, which is upside down, so I do not get it mixed up. That's the one from this donor truck right here. That's the donor. We're both in good shape, but anyone doing this and trying to put in a locker or switch to a posi or whatever you're doing, if you're switching the cage, this piece here, if you're switching the cage over, do not switch the ring gear from the pinion. The ring gear and pinion might as well be married. They have to be the same ones, otherwise you're going to run into problems with gear contact and wear. That's why this one is still upside down, so I know for fact it's the one from my truck. This one's right side up, so I know for fact it's from this one. Now, this rear differential is a 14 bolt from about a 1975 or 6 3/4 ton truck. And, well, you all know I use the old GMC as a wrecker. Well, what you don't know is I put that truck through hell every time I get behind the wheel. And yeah, and I have a witness to that effect right here. What's good about the 14 bolts rear ends is this right here. You have 4 planetaries, 1, 2, 3, 4, that spread the load on the side gears. Your Dana 60s, Dana 70s, Dana 80s do not do this. Dana 44 does not do this. Corporate 10 volt, like in a Camaro, does not do this. All they have is 1 gear at top, 1 gear at bottom. And it lets the gears move around a little bit under extreme load. And also most GM gears are soft. So you start spinning wheels, you're going to have problems. But this here, this is what's so cool, is if you want to put in a Detroit locker, you remove this whole thing. You take the side gear off, you pull your spiders out, and then you reach down in here and you get a hold of a slimy pig, if it'll come out. You pull that sucker out. You take your thrust washer out. Drop your locker in there, your Detroit locker, or they make a new one now called a Grizzly. Button it back up. It uses the 4 pins. It's got a cross similar to this one here. And it solves your problems. Now, as far as how I drive this thing, Brian, would you tell people how I drive this piece of crap truck of mine?
The way that you drive, I'm actually having to wear a seatbelt at all times and grabbing on for dear life. You drive this thing like it's right out, bat out of hell. And that is no lie.
Yep. And what did we find in this differential when I popped the case open?
We found some old grease that has been in there for probably 40 years. It's never been opened till today, is what you've explained to me.
It was the assembly grease from the factory. Now, this is amazing because it was found in these little ports here, which it would have seeped in. Well, I'm off camera. Here we go. It was found in these ports right here around this area. And what that actually means is that this differential, which was designed by GM for a truck that would only last 10 years back in the day, they said the lifespan of a truck was 10 years. This differential has seen almost 40 years use without it blowing up. And that truck there has seen 46 years of hell. And I've put it through 22 of those years myself, 23 I think. But nonetheless, that old truck has acquired 550 plus thousand miles. If you guys take care of your rigs, they will last. Alright, I'll bring you another update shortly. Hello YouTube. Let's see. What we got here? We have blocks of wood in front of the tires, all the way around it. Big, herkin heavy ass chain. Now, if you got something chained up and it's blocked with another set of tires in front of it, do you think it's really supposed to move? No. This time it's a counterweight. The installation of a locker or a gov lock, limited slip, whatever the hell you want to call it, factory thing, is in. Pardon Shaky, the camera guy here. I'm going to set you guys down so we'll see if this actually works. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there's a pretty good view of both rear tires. Okay, let's see what happens.
That one was hardly moving, and the other one was really moving.
I guess I gotta spin them a little harder, don't I? Okay, let's just say I wasn't happy with test 1. This is test 2 of the gov lock rear axle.
Much better.
I think it works. Later, YouTube.